In my time, law and order were still in place.
Ah, the young man who would like to help us.
I know now who's responsible for the shooting at night.
Finally, I bet Steve is behind this. He's taking revenge because we didn't approve his wage increase. Let me tell you, this guy is greedy. First he borrows money all over town just to be able to pay for the mail capsules, and then he goes crazy.
That's right. Steve's a real danger. This man is a time bomb. Let me tell you, when he explodes, we're all in trouble. And now it turns out that he is also involved in this.
Exactly. I always knew he was hiding something from us. He will rot in the dungeon for this. And of course, we will leave Steve down there 3 times as long as anybody else.
Hey, I didn't say anything about Steve. Farida, the magic tradeswoman.
Farida? I don't believe it. The woman is a respected magician. Okay, she might be possessed by 1 or 2 demons or something silly like that.
Demons? That would explain her low tax rate in the last couple of years. That woman is bound to dark forces. At least she always deducts the costs of her therapy from her taxes. Boy, I say we go and arrest her.
But Farida suffers from the curse. It's not her fault.
Oh, right, the curse. We should take that into account. We would have to arrest almost every citizen if we made him or her responsible for their nightly actions.
I'm sure there are some exceptions. Like me, for example. Now, I won't deny that some people start acting a little funny, but do they also commit crimes? Anyway, all of this doesn't help us at all. Come back when you've got something more specific, boy.
Callus lost a statuette gambling with Farida and is now trying to steal it back.
Callus lost something gambling? Isn't that punishable by death?
Excuse me? There's a penalty for losing in gambling? There will be quite a few people losing their heads over that one. Luckily, it's only going to be the losers.
Could I ask you for a bit more seriousness, my dear colleague? Listen, boy. Highly busy officials like us are not interested in details. Make sure that the shooting stops and we're settled. But don't get yourself into trouble, or the town will have to pay for your funeral in the end.
I think I'll... Hello.
What do you want again?
Can't you stop stealing from Farida so that she'll stop shooting during the night?
There is a problem, Shorty. At night, I don't remember. Plus, it's my property. Mine.
Have fun meditating. I'm off.
How can I help you?
I just want...
If you want to be left...
Anything wrong?
There are a few things I don't understand.
What's the matter?
Do you think I ought to return the statuette to Callus?
Sure. What can be said against it?
Hey! I ought to steal the thing. I'll end up in the dungeon. That is, if Farida won't turn me into a fine dust with her magic bullets.
I see. Well, yes, that might indeed be a problem. Just make sure that Farida coughs up the statuette voluntarily. Or that she's forced to hand it over voluntarily. That might be more realistic.
Awesome! How could that work? Farida will never give up the statuette. At least if she's not in imminent mortal danger.
Looks like you have to make a little more effort then. Maybe you can find a way to confiscate the statuette. But you'll need something official. A document from the town council and a uniform, otherwise Farida would just laugh at you.
That's all I need to know for now. Nothing.
He didn't even wipe his shoes.
To me, it doesn't really seem as if Adamus would take a closer look at what he's signing. I could probably slip his own death penalty in, and he would happily sign it. If I see this right, there are a lot of official announcements here just waiting to be put up on the bulletin board outside.
Hey, what are you doing? If Adamus is supposed to re-sign and seal the document, then you should cut off the old signature and seal. Otherwise, even this moron will know that there's something wrong.
Oops, I think you're actually right there.
It still hasn't gotten through to you. I'm always right. Now, go on.
Okay, I'll just cut off everything below the seal of Lucas the Lunatic. This way, I get a document as good as unsigned. Ha! Adamus didn't see how I got the document into his paperwork. I'm sure he will sign it without hesitation. To me, it doesn't really seem as if Adamus would take a closer look at what he's signing. I could probably slip his own death penalty in, and he would happily sign it. If I see this right, there are a lot of official announcements here just waiting to be put up on the bulletin board outside. A bulletin board for council notices. No one should ever see this decree. It would only cause trouble. Well, how do I look?
It suits the scarecrow better.
Why do you tear me down like that? I think the uniform makes a stylish town guard out of me.
Sure. What do they say again? The uniform doesn't make the man?
You're a mean little beast.
Oh, thanks. But it won't help you to suck up to me.
Okay, I've got the uniform and the decree. It ought to be okay now, at least if I don't screw up with Farida.
Don't underestimate her. She'll twist and turn like an eel to make sure you don't get the statuette. She knows all the tricks. If you give her any chance to tear you down, she'll use it. You must convince her that it was her idea to give you the statuette. Don't mention the matter too directly. If you give the impression that you are submissive to authority, you've already lost. Make clear to her that magic with Anubis heads is suspicious due to the curse.
That all sounds rather complicated.
A challenge of the fear of failure has to have some hurdles, otherwise it's boring.
Geez, this is also just my first challenge. I'm going crazy.
Wow, an official visit. Tell me, don't I know you from somewhere, boy?
The councillors have agreed to confiscate all magic amulets and statuettes in order to break the curse.
The councillors want to break the curse? Well, that'll be fun. Hocus is the one and only of them who knows a little about magic. And he knows less about curses than I do. I can't help feeling that you're pulling my leg, young man. Now go get lost.
Blast it! Farida has thrown me out. I'll never get a hold of the statuette.
Well, you shouldn't think that your performance was disastrous. It was apocalyptically bad.
Thanks for cheering me up. Farida is as slippery as an eel. It's not easy to take her for a ride.
Nonsense. You rely too much on your silly costume. You have to play the role of a town guard more convincingly to win Farida's respect.
Maybe I'm just too young for it. I'm lacking natural authority.
Oh, and that's not the only thing you're lacking, believe me. But that's another issue. Anyway, you have to try again. You just have to do it better. And now go in there and finagle that darn statuette off that self-righteous lackey.
Well, all right. I might have another go. Don't be submissive to authority. Anubis magic is curse suspicious. Never mention the statuette directly. Something else I should think of?
Yes, don't let your knees tremble. That'll make her suspicious.
You haven't given up yet, boy.
I'm here to confiscate banned magic symbols.
Wow, banned magic symbols. In my shop? Well, I would know. What makes you think that you might find magic symbols here of all places? And especially banned ones? What kind of symbol are you looking for?
An Anubis head.
What? They want to ban Anubis heads as magic symbols? That'd be a real revolution. Well, yes, the symbol was always controversial, and now our mentally deficient counsellors actually took measures. Can you somehow prove the ban?
I have the official document with Adamus's signature.
Let me see. I can't believe it. It's really Adamus's signature. How can someone who descends from an ancient magician lineage come up with such nonsense? I refuse to believe this.
We're talking about the safety of the town.
The safety of the town? Why should the safety of the town be at risk because of Anubis heads, of all things? It wasn't up until now, after all.
The councillors think that the curse has something to do with the death cult. That makes the Anubis so suspect.
The curse? How did they come up with this connection? OK, you can't know that. At least it's not totally wrong. But what exactly are they aiming at by confiscating all Anubis heads?
Hocus found a hint in some old writings that makes him believe that there is a connection between jackals and cursed towns.
It's a mystery to me how the councillors came up with the idea that Anubis heads might have a connection to the curse. But even though Hocus is sometimes a crazy nutcase, he knows a little bit about magic symbols. But is his plan really of any use?
Hocus, as an expert for Anubis magic, surely knows quite well what he does. At least he found the first useful hint as to the reason of the curse.
Hocus, an expert of Anubis magic? Well, that must be a rather new development. You don't need to overdo it, just because I can't deny that Hocus is a little less clueless than his colleagues.
Hocus has developed the theory that the curse somehow takes on a life of its own and installs itself in all Anubis heads. Therefore, they all must be confiscated.
A life of its own? Nice idea, but complete nonsense. Tell Hocus that Jodelius the Scatterbrained found out already 3 centuries ago that magic on the quantum level is subject to a distortion factor. It would never work like that. Enough of that nonsense.
Blast it! Farida.
Well, you shouldn't think.
You haven't given...
I'm here to.
Wow. That...
And a new.
What?
I have the.
Let me see. I can't believe...
We're talking.
The safety of the town...
The councillors think.
The curse? How did they...
Hocus found.
It's a mystery to me how the count...
Hocus.
Hocus? An ex...
The only thing that counts for me is Hocus says that all Anubis heads have to be confiscated, and that's what I'm going to do. That goes for you as well.
I have never blindly obeyed anyone, and this would be a rather expensive occasion to change my behaviour. This statuette with the guard dog alone costs 4 million gold coins. You must be dreaming if you think that I'll just hand it over to you, young man. Get out.
Blast it!
Well,
You haven't given...
I'm here.
Wow.
And a new.
What?
I have the.
Let me see.
We're talking.
The safe...
The counts.
The curse?
Hocus.
It's a mystery.
Hocus.
Hocus?
If I got that right, the curse is related to old bewitched artifacts that have jackal heads on them. Therefore, all objects with this symbol are confiscated for safety's sake.
Really? Everything? Listen, let me suggest something. I'll give you some of my objects. That'll keep the town council busy for a while, and they can experiment until the cows come home if they're like. And I'll see that I get the remaining Anubis heads out of town. Well, how about that?
It must be everything. Not the smallest of compromises, no mean tricks. It's because of the curse, after all.
But that just don't work. That'd ruin me. And apart from that, what would all the ordinary elixirs and freshly forged ritual daggers with jackal heads on them have to do with the curse? That's just complete bunk.
Which of your objects seriously might have to do with the curse?
Well, to be honest, there's only one object that springs to my mind. This statuette here. It makes my heart bleed, but if I can save the rest of my goods, it seems to be the only way. Here, take it. But I want it back if it turns out that it hasn't got anything to do with the curse.
I'll bring it to the town council immediately. Have a nice day. Hey, Fiona! I have the statuette!
really? Well, congratulations. Good job.
What's that? No silly comment? Something wrong with you?
Nonsense. You for once didn't behave like an idiot, that's all. No reason for partying. And now, let's move on.
Hello.
What do you want again?
Here, you have your guard dog back.
My guard dog! Wonderful! Magnificent! Finally, someone will keep me safe from these tourists. Thank you so much, boy.
Have fun meditating. I'm off.
You can call yourself lucky to be allowed to enter.
So, boy, in the meantime, did you bring peace and order to the town?
I solved the problem. Callus got his statuette back.
Really? You don't look like you could take care of something like that. And there is nothing fishy about this.
Of course not.
I like this guy. You probably really tricked Farida, didn't you? Tell me, how did you do it? Did you mix some sleeping pills into her hash brownies?
Hocus, you and your anarchistic tendencies. Can't you try to make a good impression for once? At least as long as we have visitors.
Please, my dear colleagues. I think this young man proved himself to be reliable. Maybe it's about time to tell him the whole story.